Good day, everybody. Welcome to No Risk, No Farm. My name is Leo Risk, and today I want to show you our setup here with the Raken House. I brought my assistant Domino. She will be also visible in the video. It's our house cat. No, it's not our house cat, but our farm cat, I should say. And she's taking care of all the mice and stuff around the farm. But before I do that, before we dive into it, okay, stay here. Before I dive into it, I would like to show you one book that inspired me a lot. It's called Polyphase Designs by Joel Salatin. And this book is actually a treasure for every homesteader. Our setup here is also inspired by it. I was one of the first buyers of this book when it came out a couple years ago, so I even have a original signature here from Joel Salatin. Thank you very much, Joel. It's a pleasure to read it, and I got lots of inspiration out of it. And also Justin Rhodes. I watch your videos as well, so it's really inspiring. The first thing I wanted to show you is the cages. They are made out of meshed wire. The sides and the top is made of 1 by 2 inches wire. It's galvanized steel, and the bottom is different. It's 1 by ½ inch. The reason why it's smaller is to actually protect the feet of the rabbits from injuries and from too much pressure. But it's big enough so that the poop can go through. And we also have a resting board inside of the cages. Some people might say, okay, it's not comfortable enough for them, but the advantages, they're way bigger than the possible disadvantages. One of the advantages is that they are not sitting in their poop and in their urine. It's way more clean, and therefore the rabbits stay healthy. The second is all the bacteria, it doesn't have any room to develop inside the cage because it all falls down onto this sheet of metal, and then it gets pushed away. I do it every other day so it stays clean and basically healthy for the rabbits. The other advantage is also over time the rabbits, they have growing claws, and if you have a solid floor, they end up going on their heels, and that's also not nice for them. And this way they actually can have the claws hanging basically down through the wire, and it doesn't hurt them. The next thing I wanted to show you is the evolution of the hay feeders. This is the hay feeder like I did it the first time. So I used some cut-offs here and basically made the cage out of it. It worked okay, but I wasn't quite happy because you see all the wire here. It actually prevents the rabbits to get to the hay, and they have a hard time to pull it out there. So what I figured, I will change this setup, and I did something like this. I used the cutout from the door opening here and formed a round hay feeder and used the bottom as well. It was a cut off of some of the material here. And the next step, what I did is I cut out all the little pieces here so that the hay is actually accessible to the rabbits. You see here? They can actually get to it and pull it out there. It's way nicer this way. So they actually can eat without any obstacles in the way. Another detail are those latches. You can buy those online somewhere, but I figured, okay, we have so much wire flying around, and then I basically bent it like this and fasten it to the cage. There's multiple options available. Some of them they need two hands to open or to close, which is really inconvenient. And this one is pretty easy to open and close with one hand. So whenever you have to handle something, you have to put in, let's say, this tray or something, and then you basically push against it, put it in, done. It's very easy. It's a good setup. Here you can see one of the feeders. Not every cage has one installed yet, but I'm working on it. So the idea is that every single cage will have one of those. They are designed that way that on the bottom there is some mesh. The idea is whenever I put a feed in there, that the dusty stuff falls through it, so that it doesn't get into their nose and stuff. And this is a holder here for the bottle. Right now, I mean, I'm not using it because it's still winter time, but in the summertime, the idea is to just put it in like this and it stays there. So, that's basically the setup of the cages. One of the next details that are very important, I wanted to show you, is these aluminum sheets underneath the cages. It's very crucial that they are there and they are installed in a slope. See, I have a little spacer here so that the back is a little bit lower. That helps the manure or the urine actually to run down to the back side. So what I do here, I made this pusher, I call it the pusher, out of basically wood, and reinforced it a little bit here on the top so that I can push down the manure like this. It's a nice smooth surface, so it doesn't stick to it, and then can be cleaned out very nice. As you can see here, I learned a little bit from the past. In one of the previous videos, I cleaned out this section here, and I had to do it with a shovel and with a fork. And now whenever I'm cleaning out the rabbit cages here, I'm putting the sled underneath. That helps a little bit. I mean, later on when the chickens will be here, this step is not necessary, but right now, you see I still didn't manage to put up the dividers here, so it's still work in progress. One little detail here, when I first started to install those cages, I had the sheets overlapping, and that actually wasn't good, because whenever I had to push with the pusher, it got stuck there, so there was kind of a resistance and I couldn't clean it out as properly. So these cages I installed at the latest, and so I actually made sure that each cage gets its own sheet, and also the spacer here that is separate. On the previous cages I had always one spacer for 2 cages. It was kind of a tight situation, and sometimes one cage slipped off of it, so it was crooked and stuff. So I think I will redo all the other cages also and have it like this for the whole barn here. This is my second pusher already. The first one was a little bit different. The stick, or how would you call it, was too short. I couldn't reach the end, so I had to redo it. And also the first version had only this bar without the reinforcement here. So yeah, it didn't hold up very well. So this is the next stage already. The worst thing that can happen to chickens if they start to get bored, and then they do stupid stuff like picking each other and doing whatever. So, and to avoid that, I have one little idea, one little detail I want to show you as well. So you see here, this is kind of a tunnel that you can open, and the chicken can run from this department into the other one. It's closed on that side right now, but as soon as I open it, they can run back and forth. We hope that will keep them entertained, and that they will have a little bit fun with it. So this is the middle portion of the tunnel. And I installed a lid on it, so it can cover this on the top. So, and I can take off the lid whenever I need to, let's say for cleaning and stuff. And usually it will be closed so that the chickens can't get out. But as I said, as soon as I have to clean it, I can just open the lid and go from there. As always on the farm, we try to recycle and reuse stuff. The same happened here with this, I will call it furniture underneath the cages. I used old floor joists and made them to size, so to fit exactly underneath the cages. It's very useful to have this space here, because there is lots of stuff that you need for, need to store, and buckets and feed and whatever, right? So this is very useful space, and I'm happy how it turned out. This is our temporary hay storage. I just screwed a couple boards together in the fall, and we feed the rabbits basically the same stuff that we also feed the cows. And they like it, and we have it here handy so that we don't have to go and take it somewhere or bring it from somewhere else. We are actually running a bit low already, which is a good sign, because it shows me that spring is around the corner. We might have to go and grab some hay from the cows and borrow it from them. They might be not quite happy, but they will survive. Now we are entering the chicken department. Let me show you the door a little bit, and why it's designed like this. So I on purpose left a little portion open here and put in a wire or meshed wire here, so that I can see what's going on behind it whenever I have to open the door. This little latch here holds the door shut. And then I will also show you a little bit of development here inside of the door, or the door frame, I should say. First idea was to have a hook here, and whenever we go in, so that the chickens can't escape and make a mess here inside the barn. But it turned out that you always have something to carry, right? So, and it wasn't very user friendly. So you had to basically use two hands and go like this. So that wasn't very convenient. So then I came up with another little idea. You see here, it's basically a little magnet. And whenever I go into this chicken department, I just pull the door and then it holds it tight. So it's not a very strong magnet, but it's good enough. So usually the chickens won't push against the door, it's just a visible barrier for them. Oh, what are you guys doing here? Let me show you what's going on here in the chicken department. We have the laying nests here. See, those ladies are busy. Excuse me for the interruption. You're famous now. You're on YouTube. Say hello to YouTube. Okay. Yeah, they are not very talkative today. Yeah, basically what we have here, we have 3 departments. The chickens go in there and then they lay the eggs. We are experimenting right now with a little setup here with, I will call it curtains, because we figured over time that the chickens start to pick the eggs, and this might help. We are not sure yet, but yeah, we started to try this. Overall, this is set up here for 30 hens and 2 roosters. They sit here basically overnight and doing some siesta if they need to. And during the winter time we give them snow. They basically don't need water necessarily. And since this barn is not insulated yet, so they're doing pretty well with snow. Yeah, and this is here the back side of the rabbit cages, where the manure is being pushed down, and then they scratch through it, and it creates a nice bedding and will be used for fertilizing our garden in the future. One little detail here, I put up a old mirror, and it's actually funny to watch them, to look at the mirror, and they're getting ready for the roosters, I guess, the ladies. I don't know. It's fun to watch them. And another detail here I wanted to mention before we move on. I have a timer here. It's connected to the light over there. And the timer is set to, I think, 3 hours before sunrise and 2 or 3 hours after sunset. I learned that a hen needs 14 hours of light to produce an egg. So oftentimes in the winter time the egg production slows down because it's not enough light there. I mean, the cold or the temperature, I should say, is also a big factor. But we with this setup right now, our production is down to about 60%, even though it's not insulated, as I said before. But having the light, they are still somewhat productive. Here you can see the other side of the laying box. I will show you how this is built. So this box is also on a slope, and whenever a chicken lays an egg on that side, it rolls down into this chamber here. So yeah, you can see here I was also a bit frugal here, and I used an old belt to as a hinge basically. Yeah, it works really good. And inside in this chamber we put in some insulation, and then basically the eggs roll down this way. See? Yeah, and you can see this chamber is supposed to be dark. And I mentioned the curtains before, so we realized that it was too bright inside. So the chickens were tempted to pick the eggs. And I think the curtains might help a little bit, but we will watch it, and if it actually helps, we will continue to do that. So yeah, and the eggs are pretty safe here in this area, but some of them, if they pile up inside, then the chickens can still reach it, which is not what we like. Now that we showed you the inside of the barn, I would like to talk to you a little bit about the future and what we have in mind here with this barn. The first step would be to insulate it. We have already the insulation. We bought it, I think, last year or the year before. Yeah, that will be a big thing, to insulate from the inside and have it nice and cozy for them. The next step would be to put in a somewhat automated watering system for the chickens and for the rabbits. Some of the supplies I have on hand already. It will be a bigger IBC tote or something inside, maybe a little bit higher up, and then connected with some tubes, and connect some of those drinker nipples in there, so that at least in the warmer season we will have a gravity-fed water system. We have a big bin. I will show it to you later. A big bin sitting on the yard, and I would like to install that bin on the back of this barn, and then actually start ordering bulk feed. The truck can load it directly into the bin. I think we can get into up to 5 tons into this bin, and then have a little hose or auger inside the barn, and that will help us not to have to carry the feed inside here. So that would be also a big improvement. I'm standing here at the side of the barn, and this is the spot where we would like to build a sunroom for the chickens, with an opening so that they can have access to it. And we will close it with some heavy-duty foil, or maybe even some old windows, so that actually they can run here outside even in the winter time. And it will be, I think, a nice setup for them, and it will not get that boring inside of the barn. Nice and bright, and if the sun comes out, it will actually warm up the room, and also warm up the barn a little bit maybe. I want to thank you guys for joining me today. We took a little bit of time to show you what's going on inside the barn, and if you think this is valuable, and if you could learn something from it, I invite you to subscribe and to hit that like button, and and follow us to see how we develop this farm step by step. And for us, it's an adventure. We don't have a farming background or something, so we learn step by step. We do lots of mistakes, and it's work in progress. If you find it interesting, then we would love to show you more of this stuff. Yeah, I hope you will have a good day, and I hope to see you next time. God bless.